I'd say enough following distance from the car in front of you.
And how far should that be?
You double what it usually is, so if it's usually 2 car lengths, you're going 20 miles an hour, so you'd leave 2 car lengths, you'd leave 4 in the snow.
That's good. You ever hear the one about when you stop, you should be able to see the bottom of the person's tires in front of you?
Yes.
About half a car's
Your dad
length.
that taught you that?
Yeah.
So your dad taught you how to drive then?
I am from
So a
Colorado.
lot of snow driving then?
Yeah.
Crazy stories of driving in the snow?
Some crazy stories about driving in the snow. I actually drove a car off a mountain once. Yeah. I was a volunteer firefighter when I was in my early 20s. I lived up in Iredell, which is right across from the Genesee area. And we were up on Mount Leninger in between there, and we were on a fire call, and the roads were really slick, and I was driving the car of a lady who was 4'10" and couldn't move her seat back, and yeah, my bunker boot got stuck, and I drove right off the mountain, and I went 80 feet down, and I landed kind of on a tree because the branch came in the passenger window and went out the sunroof right by my head.
And you're alive and well
I'm alive.
to this day.
I'm alive. It was New Year's Eve, and I spent New Year's Eve on a gurney getting x-rays.
What's the moral of the story, TR?
Don't drive a car for a paramedic if she's a foot shorter than you.
And you can't change the seat.
Actually, I couldn't. It was full of paramedic gear. That was the problem.
At least it was a paramedic, so you knew you were in good hands.
Yeah, she was on the ambulance on her way to the hospital, so I had to wait for help.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy stories of driving in the snow.
Crazy stories driving in the snow. Only one I can think of is big storm years ago. Just 4 hours to get home. It usually takes me 35 minutes, and watching all the 4x4s in the big snow pile stuck, and me just cruising along.
I remember I had to drive to Fort Collins, I think during the same snowstorm from Denver. It took me about 6.5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
It was absolutely miserable. South Dakota.
Yes.
So you've taken some road trips, it sounds like.
Oh yes, many.
What's the craziest road trip story? What's the craziest road trip story?
Nothing really too crazy, but I experienced black ice once. I was
Just once?
and that was the only time I needed to experience it. So you're driving along, and all of a sudden you think, well, wait, the road's wet, and actually it's ice, and so you step on it to test to see if it is wet, and just like that. And that was the Dodge.
And that was the Dodge.
Yeah.
And it did okay.
Yeah.
And it survived.
Down the ditch, up and out, kept on right on going.
Now, who taught you how to drive, Carol? Tell me.